Hello, this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Aging Like a Guru. Who, me? You know, one of the things that's sort of a constant in life is change. You've heard that 100 times, 1,000,000 times probably. And what that usually requires is a letting go. And that happens, so early in what we hold on to in terms of our beliefs, our interpretations, the way life looks, the way life is supposed to be. And every element, every transition in life creates a place where we have to let go. So, my friend Edgar, he and his wife have children, and their children are in their adolescence. And so they're starting to change. They're starting to have friends. They're starting to not care about family so much. They're more concerned with social and more personal issues and not so much with family. So Edgar and his wife, they're kind of having to deal with the transition into an empty nest. And that's hard. They want children to love and be with them. And it's changing. And that's something to be with. As people grow and they change jobs, perhaps, maybe they got fired from a job that they really liked, the place of retiring, the place of choosing to downsize from a home that's the home of your dreams, the home that's been yours for so long. Each of these places requires a letting go, a choice to do something different, which requires that you have to make changes in the way you think and the way you feel, the way that you're seeing the world. And most of us aren't prepared for that, even though we're in the process all the time. So aging like a guru, regardless of the age, requires that we be open to how life is unfolding in the truth of that, not necessarily in the beliefs of that. So quite often our consensus reality says, hey, it shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't get fired, or I shouldn't be leaving my hometown for someplace else. I should want to. And all of those shoulds, of course, are part of our conversation. But when we're with the isness of is, then we see we're at choice to either go with the flow, go where things are going, or resist and watch our resistance. And for most of us, we resist change, and we resist aging, and we resist the process that's unfolding naturally and normally, which means, for instance, having children, and they grow up, and sometimes they don't like us anymore, or they don't want to be around us anymore, or they want to be around us more. All kinds of options are showing up, all kinds of possibilities, and how we be with that is really up to how we choose to see the world and how we choose to maintain perceptions that we've learned or were conditioned to learn when we were young, and which ones we can start to let go of. So Mike and Carol are some people in their 80s, and they're moving from a 4-bedroom home that's been their home and they just love it dearly, to something smaller. They don't know what that is yet, but they know that they have to start letting things go. And at the same time, they're attached to things that they have, things that have monetary value to them, and some things that just have personal value to them. But these things no longer are fit into their house. And so they have to look at what's the intention. Like, we're letting go of stuff, and how do we do that? That's the big question. How do we choose what to let go of? How do we choose how to let go of it? How do we choose what to do with stuff that we have? These are questions all along the way. Even though Mike and Carol in their 80s are dealing with this, people are dealing with this in their 40s or 30s, or whenever they're transitioning from one home to another, or one job to another, one thought to another. And one of the intentions that I want to bring into this conversation is the idea that initially we think there's a sacrifice that we have to make in order to go through change. And so for Mike and Carol, they're going to downsize to a 2-bedroom house. And so at first it looks like they're going to have to sacrifice. And then that's in air quotes. They're going to have to sacrifice. And that interpretation gives them a sense of suffering. And, oh my God, what should we do and how we should do this? But when they start to look at it differently, and like, what is the intention? What's the intention in the process of this move, in this moving? They go, we just want it to be as easy as possible. And we want to be able to just flow through this as opposed to have it be hard. And so when we ask that question and go, we just want this to be easy, then we ask, well, how could this be easy? Is it easier to have a garage sale? Is it easier to bring in somebody to sell it for you? Is it easier just to give it all away to St. Jude's or some charity organization? What's the easiest thing? And now each of us is going to have a different answer to that. For them to consider that and think about that, they're able to go, hey, this could be fun. This could be easy. And this could be a way that makes us feel good about letting go of our stuff. So it's something shifted from the suffering and the hardship and the effort and the attachments to how it is or should be to something that's effortless and fun and easy. Now that takes a transition. That takes a willingness to say, how do I see this differently? How can I see this so that I'm not losing something in the process? Again, coming back to Edgar and his wife, who are losing, in essence, I've got air quotes going again, they're losing the connection with their kids. If they see it that way, then they resist and they're upset and they feel like they're sacrificing and all the work that they did and putting into making their kids great. What's the point? The kids are leaving and they're not happy with, the parental thing, which is all normal. Kids to grow up and differentiate and separate and find their own way in the world. That's what's supposed to happen. And at the same time, Edgar and his wife can know that, but they can be, feel sad about that at the same time. So there can be the emotional sense of what's going on. At the same time, there's the attachments to how it should be, and they feel like there's a sacrifice. So the point in this particular episode of Aging Like a Guru is to look at and be curious about how are you seeing the world or seeing your choices in the world as having to make sacrifices, I have to let go of this thought. I have to let go of my old boyfriend. I have to let go of these belief systems. I have to let go of, I know a lot of people who are saying, I am so angry at this person and I don't want to let go of my anger. It's like, well, that's really interesting. I don't want to let go of my hatred. I don't want to let go of my attachment to them being a bad person and me being the righteous person. There's a sacrifice. We assume, I listen, as a coach, I go, oh, there's a sacrifice. What are you going to have to sacrifice to let go of hate or anger or resentment? Things I've learned as I'm learning to listen to my inner guru is there is no sacrifice if I'm in alignment with what I truly want. If I want peace, and if I want connection with my children, even though they might not be as connected to me, then I hold that space and I let go of my interpretations of what that might mean. If I have a house full of furniture and I have to let go of it, how can I see it? How can I interpret it so that it's not a sacrifice? There may be loss and there may be a need to grieve and feel the loss and feel the sadness and some of the things that have memories attached. We can let go of the things and know that the memories are still there. So we have to be willing to think and consider the possibility that there are other ways to see the world besides that in letting go of something or in the changes or the shifts that there's sacrifice. It's a big spiritual principle. That's why my inner guru is wanting me to learn that one, and I'm encouraging you to look at it as a possibility. Every aspect of life, every time of our life, early childhood, early adulthood, midlife, all of those times, even in the later aging processes, there's times where we have to let go of our physicality or our emotional attachments or things that we think should be part of our life but isn't. And there's a point where we go, okay, for the point of serenity, for the point of peace, for the sense of well-being for me, I've got to let go of this. And in that, there is no sacrifice. So that's it for now. If you're interested, please join me at the Facebook page, Aging Like a Guru. If you have any interest in the paradigm shifts, theparadigmshifts.com, and you're curious about what books I have or blogs, you can happily go there and see what's going on. And I do trainings and coaching, and I do coaching, life coaching. So if you're interested in that, please let me know at rosie@theparadigmshifts.com. All right, big hugs for you and to you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.